Now, when I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down.
They were bragging to him, or they were bragging amongst the job site about, you know, all the stuff that they stole from us, you know, all the materials or the extension cords or the ladders, and just it was nonsense. And so my cousin, he kind of jumped up and he's like, "Hey, that's my cousin. I'm gonna," you know, and start giving him threats and things like that, man. Yeah. And I just started laughing. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, I mean, what are we gonna do, right? Like, karma is real, 100%. Karma is real, and what goes around comes around, man. All I know is that that we need to be able to work hard and be, what's the right word, I guess? Work with some ethics, right?
How about just feeling sorry for people, like having some empathy? Like, how long has it been? 3, 4 years? 5 years? I just think it's time to move on.
What did you guys think about speaking at the school? Did you guys enjoy it?
I enjoyed speaking at the school. It was tough. I am not a public speaker.
I know you started reading your notes, and you kind of started sounding like you were reading a book. And
I was reading to the children. Yeah. I was reading to the children. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous myself.
You did amazing.
I was. I mean, you told me to study or like prepare for it. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna walk up and.
Here's the funny thing.
From the hip, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody did off the cuff, and me studied, practiced, and did the worst. I bombed, but
I didn't practice at all.
Oh.
And it wasn't. I don't feel like I did my best, but yeah.
I think sometimes it can be a lot more powerful when it's raw and it's just coming from your heart. I mean, obviously you want to be a little bit prepared, know what you're talking about, and know how to convey the message. But I guess more than anything, man, it's important that we do our best to try to reach these kids. I know that in due time that we're going to be able to be a lot more impactful to our community, to the people that surround us. You know, going through the hardships of what we've had to deal with in the past, 4 years or so, it's a lingering effect. You know, it really is.
Definitely is.
It's a lingering effect, and it's not easy to come out of a $1 million loss.
$1 million, right? I think some moments were so hard. You just feel like, man, are we even gonna make it out of this? And man, it was tough. It's like I've been told, man, you guys make it look easy, and sometimes I feel like, do you know what's going on in the background?
Yeah, there's always a struggle in the background for sure. I mean, it's. No one knows what we go through. No one knows, the sleepless nights, the after hours, the weekends, the
lawsuits.
That too.
I feel like just chiming in on that part. I think everybody has problems, but not everybody just talks about them. Everybody's going through something. Like some people, and our problems are different than theirs. Like some people are on the verge of dying and they're not talking about it. Like that. There's a whole different
perspective.
Yeah, there's a whole different perspective on things. Like everybody has problems,
right?
And one thing that I've learned we bring them up quite often, but CEO Warrior, like Sandy, having mindset kind of classes with her, is like she basically says like stop looking at
what you can't do, right?
Yeah, or stop looking at all the problems that you have had to start looking forward, right? Start looking at the future and change your mindset from like, oh, they did this to me, or this was done to me. Like, all right, well, what did you learn from it, and what are you working towards now?
Right.
Instead of looking at all that.
Yeah,
mess
you're right.
In the background.
I used to. So I think it was last month, maybe the month before last. I struggled with a lot of it still.
I still feel like we do to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's a fight every day to not have that mindset. I struggle with it.
Not be angry.
Be Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. So like a month and a half ago or so, I forget when it was. I was really like, it was a lot on my mind, right? Just because of some of the other things that we were going through, and my thought was, man, if I just wouldn't have lost that $1 million, right? If I wouldn't have just been in that lawsuit, or if I wouldn't have just, had to go through that struggle, and you start kind of getting bitter about some things, man. And I remember I was speaking to Sandy probably like once a day, just small, through a text message or just through something, and she was just always like telling me, you need to stop. Don't be, your mindset needs to change. You can't be thinking like that. And it's everything what you just said, the perspective of, you got to be able to use, those hardships, fear, to your advantage, man. You gotta, use it as fuel. Like the one thing that I do know now is that we have the recipes to success. We know how to earn $1 million, and
We know how to lose it.
and we know how to lose it. Yeah. 100%, man. And we have the recipe. All we have to do is know how to continue to incorporate, those teachings, that recipe, right, into our lives, so that we can be successful, not for ourselves only, but for the people that surround us, right? It's not about us as a family completely. It's about us serving people, and
Right.
at the highest level, man.
Yeah.
And it's what we can do to give back and to help, society that surrounds us, man. How do we impact, our circle? How do we impact our corner of the world? And that's what life's all about. To me, it is, at least.
Yeah. So we have some pretty exciting things going on, even through all the hardships and things that we've gone through. Like you said, we are succeeding at some degree, and I feel like, purchasing this property was a game changer for us. We're able
During the process of our $1 million loss.
Yeah. It was. It. I don't know how. I believe in God, and I know that He helps us and takes care of us. And I just feel like there's this feeling of, even through all of it, we were losing, but at the same time winning. And I don't know how He does it. But
Do you think like the feeling of losing, or like loss in general, you think, like comparing to winning, do you think the lesson of losing is a better lesson than the lesson of winning? Or?
I think
Yeah, definitely. I always feel like I really believe this. Like, looking back at it, I remember telling somebody, like, there's so many things that I've prayed for and that have come to pass through my loss. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, well, you prayed for this. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
You wanted to get here. You wanted to like own this property. You wanted to do all this, but you couldn't have done it, 3 years ago, because of, if you would have had it at that time, it wouldn't have been a good time for you to have it. You weren't ready for it. And I feel at this point, now I know I had to go through that struggle to get where I am today.
the struggle. I feel like it creates perspective, man. It really does. I was talking to me and Elijah were doing an interview the other day with a young lady, and I asked her, just to know where your mindset's at when you look at like this bottle of water. Do you see this bottle? Do you see it almost full or almost empty? And so I asked that a lot to different people, man, and it lets me know where their mindset's at. And I think she caught on right away, because she says it's almost full. And I said, that's a good answer, because the interview prior to that, the kid says it's almost empty. And so it's our mindset. The struggles that we go through, man, we can't always look at them as being negative losses, but more like, positive lessons, man.
Right.
And it's what we do with them, right? It's
Right.
what we do with these lessons. So yeah, I mean, it's, to answer your question, Stefan, from my perspective, I feel like they're valuable lessons. They're expensive lessons.
Yeah,
Definitely.
they're costly as far as like time as well too.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I mean that loss we took, man, it set us back 4 years. Yeah, but it's
Good.
crazy, man. I think we all grew through those 4 years. Like, I wouldn't know the things that I know now. I wouldn't be where I am now without the loss. So I think we all collectively took it together, and we all gained from it somehow. Yeah, I think I like the there's like beauty in the struggle,
Yeah.
people call it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel good, but the outcome is good, you know.
Well, it's like a rose bush, right? They're beautiful, but boy, they hurt when you get close,
Yeah.
man. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they'll stick you. So as of right now, guys, like Elijah, what's your primary focus right now? I know that we've done some pretty extensive changes and shifts in the company. You know, we're after this home service maintenance and repair industry.
Yeah.
We're doing good as far as, you know, closing deals and gaining more traction with creating more new clients and marketing and
Yeah,
you know the structure.
Yeah, I guess like just like the stuff that we've learned this last year, it's been huge. We started implementing a lot of processes in the company, and you guys are all aware of them already. But like just daily huddles, KPIs. I was looking at a book the other day. We were learning from Tom Casey back in October. I was writing down a bunch of notes from the war planning event that we went to. Tom Casey dropped some knowledge about KPIs, how to track everything, the difference between marketing and what types of marketing that our type of business does. So implementing KPIs has been a huge help. You know, even the huddle group that we have in the morning, that's a tool. It's a tool. We pretty much set targets every morning, revenue, sales, and collect. Those are the three things that we go after every morning, and it's to make sure that if we're not hitting our targets for those three things, there's something happening. There's something wrong, right? Like you have to. A lot of people, and I heard it this way from, I forget his name. I believe his name is Dustin. That's the first time I ever heard it. But looking at he works with Lizaire. He owns Dustin Pest Control. I heard this from him. Like if you're looking at your P&L, your profit and loss sheet, and that's a month backwards.
Behind.
Yeah, it's a month behind. You're already a month back. Like if you're looking at,
It's too late.
If you're looking at, like, we're in March. We're looking at February's P&L right now. We're beginning in the middle of March. If I'm looking at February's P&L, and I show a loss. All right, well, how did I get that loss? Like, where did I lose? And I probably should have been making the adjustment right then and there,
Right.
during that loss, rather than waiting till March to figure out, oh, I lost money. Now I got to go back and figure out how to recoup that. Like, no, like, so, and when he first told me that, I didn't understand like what that process was, or how, like, all right, like that's just a loaded like conversation with so much information. Like a lot of it just went in one ear out the other. And
I think he kind of left that day with that.
yeah,
He left us with
I
that.
thought about that. That was a conversation I was just thinking about for a while. I was like, man, that he is right. Like if I'm looking at a P&L or an income statement and it shows a loss, I mean, I can't do anything about that at this point. Like
you can't pivot because it's been too late.
We're a month in advance already. Now I got to figure out this month. So I chewed on that for a while, and then when we went to the Warrior event, the war planning event, I heard Tom Casey talk about KPIs again, and the difference between proactive versus reactive KPIs.
Mm-hmm.
Proactive are dispatch conversion rates, sales conversion rates. Those are all proactive. You're being proactive. Those are the things that you're able to control in the moment. Versus reactive KPIs, those are like income statements, balance sheets, your P&L pretty much. And if we're not looking at all the proactive KPIs now, our reactive is not going to look good later. So
Right.
That's just some of the stuff that I've learned, and that's some of the stuff that we're really focusing on now. It's been a huge help in the last few months. I've noticed a difference. And another thing too that I can appreciate and also learned along the way, it's like it's very important to pick the people in their positions on what they're doing, and be very, how do I rephrase that? You got to be very careful on who you pick for certain positions. It takes the right person to get the job done. Like, for example, like collects our accounts receivable, like in the situation that we're in with like recouping our losses in the last 4 years, a big factor in recouping those losses and being able to gain momentum is our accounts receivable. Like we started putting a lot of money into that, the home service, because
It's money right now.
it's money right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're doing new construction, the standard for new construction is 30 to 60 days payment terms, right?
Sometimes 90.
Yeah. Depending on who it is.
Yeah.
So
I think
How do we
we're going-
learn? How do we
we're
learn
going on-
that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're going on 3 years on one of them, I think.
yeah,
And then
Jeez.
forget calling and ask for payment sometimes because
yeah, it's a struggle, man, for sure. So implementing the service accounts receivable has helped out a lot. It fills in the gaps when you don't have the funds. You know, you have a panel change today, it's going to get done today, and it's going to be paid today.
Right.
Right. So, and
You know, all the efforts, I laugh, man, because, you know, people don't really understand, you know, our method and what we're doing and how we're operating now. It's so different, right? And it takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, and we have to travel to go to these trainings and to be a part of, you know, the success. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't just magically appear. People just don't show up to your office and let me give you the recipe, right? So you know, we travel to the East Coast, you know, and it's just so funny to still hear people like just talk bad because they don't understand what we're doing. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
it's very easy to look inside and you're like, oh,
well,
man,
you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have seen the training that we went through that the day before we posted videos about us going to New York and stuff like that, man. Like, that's just a small piece. It's
Right.
It's an hour, maybe 2 hours of our time versus the whole 24 hours that we're in training.
Right.
Like, we're on an Excel spreadsheet trying to put our whole next year together so we can
Trying to forecast
Yeah.
a whole another 12 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was exhausting.
Yeah.
That was.
And
being successful. It takes a lot of prep.
I'm sure you guys are still getting phone calls and everything from back home. You know,
oh yeah, we're
trying to,
dealing
like,
with business
Oh,
also.
still
yeah.
trying to like deal with
Yeah, the
deal
whole
with it all.
time.
Yeah, that I mean, my son, he was only 3 weeks old at the time, man. Like, even like when I got there, man, I absolutely wanted to come home, man. There was nothing excited about being like I post what I post on social media versus how I actually feel is two different things. Like,
yeah.
I can make it look good and things like that, but that's not how I really feel, man. Like, I'm just, you know, trying to, you know, like, I guess like the best way to put it is like everything that's on social media is fake. It's fake. Like,
Yeah, the majority of it for sure,
the
man.
majority, yeah, there's maybe a small glimpse of realness in any of those posts that we post. It's more of what are you on TikTok at night for? For entertainment, right? You want to feel
laugh,
good.
yeah.
There's like a sense of like that's like a dopamine, I guess. Like you get excited about being on your phone, and it's not healthy, like, but that's just the reality of it. A lot of people are hooked on their phone. They go on TikTok, they go on Instagram to look for some sort of like fulfillment, like happiness, like, oh, let me see what everybody else is doing, because a lot of people, what they like to do is look at everybody else and their success, but they never really look at themselves and like, hey man, I could be doing something positive with my life too, you know, like, but that's just the way social media is. And
Comparison.
yeah, everyone likes to compare themselves to people, and that's not always a good thing. But
Right.
going back to what you were saying, yeah, us being out in training and stuff, the posts that we post are very small. We don't post all the work on the Excel sheets that we put, the numbers that we put into, like the goals that we have. Like, sometimes like we put targets, they're so high, it's like, dude, are we really gonna hit that target? And the stress of having a target in front of you now, like, okay, now I got to hit this, and I guess the main thing would be like if I don't hit that target, then the company's not going to be doing good. So the weight of that itself, you know, like having a target in front of you, and like you have to hit it. If you don't hit it, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know.
Yeah, I get a lot of just laughs out of, you know, everyone's thoughts and perception of, you know, what they think we're doing. You know, oh, they're out there, oh, they're this, oh, they're that, and it's just but you know, I guess social media, you put stuff out there and you can get people to talk bad about you if you want, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we got our first hater on social media. Like a couple months back. I don't know who it was. We got to block them. Just talking crap, man. Like, it is what it is. But you know, if they're not talking crap about you, man,
you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not here to make everybody happy, and then we have a good understanding that we're never going to make everybody happy, and that's all right. You know, we do our best, and you know, if people don't want to play the game the way that we write the rules, then they don't have to play, man. You know, it's all there is to it. there's a lot that goes on in running a business and having 40 people on your payroll, man. I mean, it's a big it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You're not going to make everybody happy all
Never.
the time. It's so hard.
Never, man, never. I never thought we would be operating a business at this capacity, and we're learning every day. Like, we're never gonna do everything 100% right, you know. And we try to be ethical, try to be fair, try to have tough conversations without hurting too many feelings. But I mean,
But we do. But we do.
Like nobody wants to like. You can't be like direct with anybody.
Nobody
anymore.
wants that.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's like, well, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. This is a job.
Yeah.
We all, come here. We try to keep it, what you see on social media, we do try to have fun. We try to keep a really good culture here. But at times, we have to have the tough conversations, and it's not always easy. It really isn't, know.
Yeah, we have a business to run, and it's very important that everybody operates in the parameters that we ask, because the decisions that we make, it causes a ripple effect, whether it be good or bad, right? And so the decisions that I make are going to affect everyone downstream. You know?
Right. Like we're talking about, the years to come, like in regards to our exiting strategy, and, we're not going to be here forever. And sometimes some of the decisions we make are based upon that. And sometimes people don't understand that. And it's really, really hard you don't want to have to explain everything. Sometimes you just want people to just understand, hey, this is what's got to be done today. Yeah. And it's pretty tough, to not hurt people's feelings sometimes.
Yeah. I think hurting people's feelings, if you do hurt their feelings, it's because a lot of the times it's making the mistake of not. I'm talking about from the employee to the employer perspective. Like, if we're mad at them or if we're frustrated with them, like it's because maybe we didn't explain it well enough to them, in the moment, or maybe we're changing a process and like we're so sped up on like, hey, we got to get this process implemented and it's got to be done now. And like you're putting these new perspectives for that employee when you really haven't gone through the whole process of teaching them your new process for that specific job or whatever they're doing at that point. And it also falls back on us too to, reflect on that and like, all right, did when I did upset him, was it something that I did? Or is it just because this person is not down with the toughness, I guess, or down with
company
making
protocol,
it work,
Or some people just don't like change either.
Yeah.
Like, when you,
No,
that's dude, like we've changed so much in the past 5 years. Like I think just our whole systems, like with Service Titan and everything. Like
Oh,
dude, it took a
100%.
while for people to.
I remember just going off of that, man. Like, I remember first doing Service Titan and having the guys dispatch, arrive, all that other stuff.
It was like pulling teeth, man. Like, nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to follow suit. And like the importance, these are the reasons why we buy these systems and processes or these software, so that we can create, the systems and processes to perfect, what we're doing. This is how we are going to achieve greatness. And when people just don't want to abide by what we're asking, then what do we need them for?
Yeah.
How are we going to grow if they're not doing their part?
Yeah, I heard Jeff, and I'm pretty sure you remember this conversation too. Jeff Stamps, he's from Lizaire as well. He says a lot of the times when you're creating a culture for yourself, a culture for your company, that momentum when you get going and you're moving all together towards that ultimate goal, a lot of the people that are not with you, really with you, they'll weed themselves out.
Yeah, right. They weed themselves out. And so the people that are not here today, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
They've weeded themselves out. The people that are not a part of our team. And I'll tell you what, from 3 to 4 years ago, where we're at today, we've doubled our growth, and we don't have half the headache and the BS and all that other stuff. Man, like we can visually see the money that we're making. We can see that people are not stealing from us. Yeah. They're not here because they weed themselves out.
Right. But let's talk about some of the positive stuff.
I wasn't even really talking about that situation specifically. I was talking about in general.
In general, yeah.
There's been a lot of people that, like, if you look at like our list of employees, we've had over probably 150 to 200 employees that have just come and gone. And there's only about 30 to 40 that are still here. You know, like the 150 to 200 employees that we've gone through. Those are the people I was talking about overall. You know, we had a guy that we hired. He didn't want to go into our house. Hey, you're not gonna work out here, man. Like everything that we tell our employees to do, we expect them to do it because it's nothing that we wouldn't do
Or haven't done.
or haven't done.
Yeah.
Like if you're So first day on the job, guy showed up and it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to go into the house. Like I don't do that. You don't work here then. You know, so that's just the way it is.
I also, I mean, I like to talk about positive stuff. If I'm on social media, like you said, I like to see some, happy things, and I like to post happy things. So
I do too.
You want to talk politics?
whoa.
Who'd you vote for, Mom? We're not going to discuss.
We're not going to discuss.
Yeah.
I don't talk.
Chicken.
That'll say who
well,
you voted for.
Well, here's one
Just
thing.
look at his hat.
I know. Well,
T money. T money.
I'll just say this.
He got bullets on his hat.
That's right.
Well, I'll just say this. I don't talk about politics, and I don't talk about religion.
Yeah, that's a good. We've said that for years and years and years. To talk about politics and religion amongst friends and family, that'd be a pretty fast way to not have friends and family, man. And if you want to stay neutral with your family, like the people that are going to want to talk politics to you and tell you how this and that about whether it be the left or the right, all they want out of you is a reaction. So and I don't give them the time of day for that. So it's better that I know who my people are. I don't talk politics. Let's be friends, and if you don't want to, I'm good with that too.
Yeah,
I got enough friends anyway.
Yeah.
I think like I'm good with the people that are in my life. Like I'm not looking to make new friends, like I'm surrounded by great people, everybody in this room, and it's it's awesome, man.
Yeah, for your age, dude, you're surrounded by giants, man. and that's no lie, man. I mean, like the circle that you're in, the people that you have in your life, outside of us, as your family members, man, your mentors. Dude, if I had your mentors when I was your age, dude, I know in 5 years from now you're gonna be a pretty wealthy kid, man. You're gonna be in a good spot. You're in a good spot now, but even much more so. Just the environment that you're in. Your aviation friends, the pilots that you fly with. It's amazing, man. I still get shocked by where you're at, and. You work hard, man.
Good for you, Stefan.
Yeah, proud of you.
It was a fight to get that certification, though, man. It was took some time off of work, thanks to you guys.
100%. Me and Blaine and Mom and Carolyn, when we went to San Diego, it was the same thing, man. Mm-hmm. Blaine was telling me, he's like, all right, we're heading for the runway. And I'm like, where is it? We were just in the cloud. He's like, it's going to come up here pretty soon. You got to tell me when you see it. You got to tell me when you see it. Because all he's looking at is just the gauges, man,
Yeah.
And
that was
finally,
pretty scary.
Finally, I seen the runway. I was like, we got runway. But we're right on top of it, man. Yeah, it was wild.
It's fun, though. Have a really good time.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like in that situation, do you have to flare before you come out of the cloud?
No, you gotta. I mean, when you're shooting an approach, you're usually gonna start rounding out. In the Tomahawk, that's what I learned in. You're rounding out in between 15 to 30 feet, but it's
what's rounding out mean?
That's when you start rounding the airplane out. Yeah, but 15 feet.
You're not nose diving.
What's flaring versus rounding out?
That's rounding out is your flare. So you're coming in you're coming into land, and then you round out. That means you're rounding out, and then at that point, you're just right above the runway, and you're slowly entering ground effect, and then once you're in ground effect, flare again, and you're
proper terminology is rounding out.
Flaring, rounding out. Yeah, your round out is your flare basically. Yeah, same. It's kind of hard to explain.
Good to know.
Some people probably don't even know what flaring means, bro.
It's like. Have you ever seen a bird land on a tree? When he's coming in to land on a tree, he opens up his wings like really like high.
Yeah.
He's flaring. Airplanes do the same thing to land. They gotta create like a little bit more lift so they don't just like slam on the runway.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Unless you're a penguin, you ain't doing any of that.
So I think to close it up, we'll just talk about a couple of things that we have, or a few things.
Sure.
Obviously, we're excited about possibly doing some more speaking engagements,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
We do have the farmers market. Like I was saying, we're having that tomorrow. It'll be our first one. We're excited. I mean, we're doing it to bring the community together.
What is it?
I'll go check it out.
You said something about the gas, something exploded.
Oh yeah, so Carlos hit the gas line next door. It was an underground gas line that we didn't know that was live, and
Yeah.
and then some of our tenants,
we almost lost our building.
almost
There was almost an implosion.
and then it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Hey,
it is.
we actually have a pretty exciting year gonna come, man. I mean, like there's certainly gonna be some adversity that we're gonna face, but I really feel like there's gonna be some pretty amazing changes here in the near future, man. And I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about a lot.
Finally gonna win that lawsuit.
Dude, you know what I like about that whole lawsuit deal is that when we step to the plate, and I mean, it costs us a lot of money, just to get to the door.
Yeah.
But going through the door and sitting across the table from those people that wanted to go to war with us, and me being able to have the satisfaction of looking them in the eye and calling them liars, and then them not being able to fight back because they didn't have really. I mean, our attorney Mitch Taylor, man, that guy, he just. I had my times of like being a little bit worried about going to battle, but man, he cleaned them up, man, and
He did.
and I'm grateful for it, man. But being able to do what we did, and then them come back and say, hey, you know what? Will you guys be willing to go to war with us against the county, because I don't think they're going to be able to win without us.
I mean, I feel like our scope of work for that job was like key factor. One of the key factors. I don't say it's the key factor, but it's one of the main key factors in that case that they're taking to the county. So
Right.
And it'll look good for them too.
I mean, even after talking, it's crazy. I feel like you talk about divine appointments all the time. I feel like God does put divine appointments like in our lives. Like, I mean, I was at school. I was doing a crash course for law and business, and I met the architect that they fired off of that job. Like, there's no like.
Yeah. How does that align?
Like, how does
right?
that align? Yeah,
Right.
like, and then just the information that you get from people, like,
Gives you some insight.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. I don't think anything that's happened to us is coincidental. It's happened for us, and it's been just pretty awesome to just see the growth.
Yeah.
Even
Even looking back at like all the things that we've struggled with, or like the hardships, and we talk about like we complain and gripe a little bit, and earlier in the segment we were talking about like all this bad stuff that happened to us, and one thing that I've realized, man, they are not so much losses, they're lessons. I understand that, but we always talk about like things they don't happen to us, they happen for us, right? And that's just part of the journey. That's the part of the journey that allows us to be better people, helps us to be better in understanding people, contributes. They're cutting that pipe. Yeah.
Working over there.
They're
Oh my God.
Shut it down.
they should have used the bandsaw, but it's all right.
making all the sparks over there.
Ah!
Yeah. Brother Hector, he was a good man. You know?
Yeah, the Pinos, they were a good family.
That's not funny. That is not funny, please.
You know what? We probably should tell them. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they got to cap it.
That's worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, they got to cap it.
So anyways, getting back to just closing here. Let's close. So we were talking about it just in closing what we got going on. We talked about the farmers market. Hope to see you all here tomorrow. Look, we've been checking the weather. Looks like it's going to be cleared up by between 5 and 8. So I think we're going to be good.
We should have a screen where you just shows California, just you in front of it. You know, we said the clouds here. It's gonna move over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forecasting 7 p.m. Clear skies.
We need the green screen.
We too.
So in terms of us being a home service maintenance and repair company, we're going to be stepping into the HVAC space. Partnering with some of our colleagues and some of the other HVAC companies that we work with, also helping us be able to be more of a service to our clients. So we're going to dive into that space. We're going to also dive into the plumbing space as well. So we got that in the works. Have test dates already in place for both these licenses. Some of the licenses are already taken. So, man, we're excited, man. We're excited on, what we got coming in the near future. Obviously, we're working hard to fulfill the needs of our clients, and
even offering job positions for the growth of in that direction is gonna open up doors for other people to be able to come and work with us. So it's
Right.
it's gonna be fun. I think 2025 we're gonna be adding a lot of new faces to the company and continue our growth. HVAC is gonna be one of the key factors here in the near couple months. That will be awesome.
I want to get my journeyman's this year too. I'm pretty sure I have enough hours for it.
Over the electrician?
Yeah. Journeyman electrician. It'd be cool.
I'd like for you to go take your C10 test.
Be cool too, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be part of the whole exiting strategy, right?
Yeah, like next week.
Yeah. We're getting ready. We're gonna get our house in the coast, right?
Yeah, I got it picked out. We just got to get there.
Got more buckets to fill.
Yeah, it's going to be fun,
Yeah.
man. I think 25 is going to be a big year for us. I mean, we've already pushed some pretty big numbers, and we're early in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hit a pretty big number. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Yeah. So I think we end with that. And
Yeah. Appreciate the viewers. Appreciate you guys, chiming in and listening. So,
Yeah.
till next time.